Machaji na Manyonyo is probably my last post. Banze, inauma jo.
Why do you think USA banned TikTok fully? According to the informations of the news, they are saying that they banned TikTok due to more influence in the data corrections. And Joe Biden said that he will not ban it fully. He will just leave that agenda to the upcoming president, that is Donald Trump. Immediately being sworn in as a 47, President Trump is being sworn as a 47 president of United States of America. He will just get into that agenda and ensure that he will be the one to decide whether it will be banned fully or completely, or he will give the advance to the residents of the United States of America. But to the news of the BBC, he said that he will just ensure that within 90 days, he will give an appeal so that he get to the office and ensure that the agenda is being pushed, and by then we're able to make the decisions to the residents of the United States of America whether they continue using applications to market their product and also to do their influences. But remember, there are so many people who are banned. They were affected much, like Marcon. There's so many people who we normally follow them during these platforms or using this platform of TikToks, and people have just used them as a way of creating an employment all through this. But also there was that fear that also even in Kenya it will be banned. But absolutely, I think there was also a process on that thing. Listen to this message from the BBC and also see how it was done. And remember that Donald Trump decided that between 3 months to 90 or 90 days, he was able to give us the exact meaning of the way forward on this issue concerning the influence of the TikTok, or whether they to be continue to be used in.
TikTok has stopped working in the United States. It's disappeared from Apple and Google app stores too, as part of a blackout ahead of a law implementing its shutdown. The US has cited national security concerns about the Chinese-owned video app, but President-elect Donald Trump has said he will probably give it a 90-day reprieve from the ban. Well, let's speak to a North America technology correspondent, Lily Jamali, who's in San Francisco for us. So, Lily, just tell us what happens when people in America try to access TikTok at the moment.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, because I have it pulled up right here on my phone, that I'm getting a message that says, sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. And I imagine the 170 million other American users are now getting that very same message. It then says that a law banning TikTok has been enacted. That's part of the story here. That's part of the law that was passed by Congress last year, which you mentioned went through on national security grounds, concerns about Chinese ownership of the app. But left out in this statement by TikTok is the fact that TikTok and its Chinese owner, they've had 9 months to sell this app to a U.S. buyer, and they didn't do that. Of course, both of these options are clearly unsavory to the company. But at this point, they have exhausted every legal avenue at their disposal. They've taken this to a U.S. appeals court where the law was upheld. The Supreme Court did the same on Friday. They do, of course, have an ally, as you noted, in President-elect Donald Trump, who takes office the day after, so tomorrow on Monday. And he, as you mentioned, has said he will try to enact he's likely to, is the phrasing that he used, to enact a reprieve of about 3 months. The question is whether legally he can actually do that.
And so why has the company chosen to effect this ban, even though it has, a very powerful ally in Donald Trump? Talk us through the ecosystem about how Americans access TikTok and the companies that could have been liable if they'd continued making it accessible.
Well, as of right now, this law is in force. Donald Trump is not the president. Joe Biden is the president, as you know. And even though Joe Biden has said, his administration has said that they will not enforce this law, companies involved here are technically flouting the law if they continued to uphold the status quo. So that would include companies like Oracle, the web hosting service. They basically have all this data on their servers. And so they have taken action, presumably. You mentioned the app stores. So Apple and Google administer the biggest app stores in the United States, where most Americans go to put the app, to put TikTok on their devices. These various aspects of the ecosystem, these different companies all faced legal action if they didn't do something as of Sunday. And they also faced potentially very steep fines. So yes, Donald Trump comes into office on Monday and can, tell these various companies that he can try and assure them, but they are still flouting the law if they didn't do something.
And talk to us about the possible individuals or companies that could buy the TikTok operations in the United States, and crucially, some allies of Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's a number of potential suitors that have come forward. Most recently, Perplexity AI, which is one of the many AI startups that has cropped up in recent years. But individuals include Donald Trump's former Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, who floated he was interested earlier this year when the law first took effect. Another prominent suitor is a billionaire investor named Frank McCourt, who has put a group of investors together. He has made the media rounds, done a lot of interviews talking about what he'd like to do with the app. But the most probably well-known and most interesting, I would say, of the potential suitors here is Elon Musk. He, of course, owns X, formerly known as Twitter. He is a close ally of Donald Trump, campaigned for Donald Trump in the run-up to November's election, and also contributed about $250 million to Donald Trump's re-election campaign. There is talk that he might take over by TikTok and potentially merge it with what was once known as Twitter.
Lily Jamali, thank you very much for that.
Machaji na manyonyo is number one app yenye inakuwa downloaded saizi hapa USA inaitwa Red Note. Ini version ya TikTok ya China. Unaona, so fears za US governments saizi sanjo sasa sijui watafanya nini. Sasa watu wana download hii Red Note willingly, wanapatia na data yao willingly. Na ujue hizo servers za Red Note ziko China. Uzuri ya TikTok servers zake pia ziko hapa USA. Unacheki? So ebu kama uko USA enda kwa App Store, ebu angalia the number one social media saizi ni Red Note. Bana mimi pia nisha download jo. Wachukue hiyo TikTok yao waende nayo. Unasema nini mtu wangu? Usitake jua.
Of course, people must look an alternative on the way to survive. If you just rock one door, absolutely people must look at the alternative to survive and also to do their own thing, especially if, for example, banning TikTok. It's one of the applications, by the way, that have just developed or have just grown within a short period of time. It has just overtaken so many applications. Remember I talked earlier this one during another video that there was a Facebook. People used to go in Facebook, but you find that TikTok has more even followers than Facebook, and you can gain more followers very fast concerning to other applications. Even in YouTube, you can gain more followers on TikTok than in YouTube, and people have just used TikTok as a means of employment. People have used TikTok as a way of advertising their jobs. People have used TikTok as a way of developing and also running there, especially for the network and also digital marketing. People have just decided to recruit through TikTok, But of course, people have to look at the alternative. But there's also that rumors that it will also continue for 3 months, and maybe by then they are appealing. By the end of the day, maybe there will be the court order and all those things, and you find that maybe it will not be banned. Every politician has to come with his own agenda, maybe to ensure that he win the public, or to ensure that maybe they have to enforce a certain law, maybe to regulate some of the things. But we hope that maybe it will not be banned fully, and maybe we shall get more information from there, and maybe things will be fine. But these are just how it is. What do you think when TikTok is banned in your country? Write that in the comment section. What do you think in your country? For example, in Africa, what do you think TikTok is not working in Kenya, for example? What do you think? Maybe people might go back to Facebook as normal, or maybe people might, try to another alternative. What do you think in this? Just write there in the comment section, and it will be very much important. So thank you for watching me. This is MC Wamaji, and see you in the next video. Let's meet at the top.